Hello and welcome back. Today is November 6, 2022, which of course is the day Sword Art Online went online. Yeah, that was poorly executed. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch SAO Progressive by now. Even if I did, I would have to edit the whole movie, and well, that would be annoying. It would really be annoying. So I figured, if I can't do that, I would have to do something else for today, the legendary day. So I figured, why not read this rumored chapter or sub-chapter that I'd heard of that may or may not be here. So as it turns out, Reki Kawahara, the creator of Sword Art Online, actually wrote a fan fiction called SAO Chapter 16.5. So here's the funny thing. I had no idea Sword Art Online was actually a light novel and not a manga. I mean, it is a manga, but it was originally a light novel that was adapted into a manga and then adapted into an anime. Who knew? But apparently what happens is this takes place right after Kirito and Asuna confess their feelings for one another. And right after she strips down, and he's like, no, I just wanted to spend the night with you. That's all. I didn't mean anything else. She's like, you dummy! You know what? Let me just play the clip.
一緒の部屋にいたいというそれだけのつもりで。
Yeah, why did I describe it when I could just play the clip? I don't know. I need better planning for this stuff. I don't have a script. Reaction channels typically don't have scripts. I just add clips as things go on. But yeah, if this is actually what it is, and I made sure this is authentic, the only issue is I am not confident enough to read this out loud myself. It doesn't seem right. So what I'm going to do is I found this YouTube video, which is right here. All right, it is from a creator by the name of Chewdar. That's Chewdar. Only has 26 subscribers. But I read this thing out loud and got 10,000 views. Attempted to read the chapter without trying to laugh. So I'm going to be listening to his reading. All right, so we're just going to go with that. In the meantime, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Click your notification bell. And let's get started with this because I think it's going to be hilarious. Let's go. You know what? In that time period, I think I'm going to actually try to read this. I really shouldn't. Oh my god. Look, I could probably read this without laughing. But that's kind of takes away from the... I don't know. I'm going to skim through this real quick. It's on Wattpad. It's like the full... No, I'm going to listen to it. All right? I'm going to listen to it. There we go.
Asuna plopped down naked on the sofa and glared defiantly at me. Kirito, hurry up and take your clothes off.
Oh my
She said
god.
in an authoritative tone. What? We're continuing? It would be stupid if we stopped here. I hurriedly complied. Opening the window indicated by Asuna.
Well, he's a hormonal 16-year-old. He's probably very excited.
Start, there was no romantic mood to speak of. Sitting on the bed, which was slightly too small for the two of us, we slowly did as much as
Oh yeah, it was a
allowed.
twin bed, wasn't
The
it?
dim blue moonlight filtered through the window, casting complex shadows on the bed. Since Salemberg has no marketplace, the townspeople disappear at night. The only thing that I could hear was the faint whispering of the lake, and my
Aren't the
alarm-like
walls
heartbeat
soundproof?
seems to echo around the room. By this time, Asuna and I had removed all
Okay,
of
so
our
he's not
clothing.
British. I think that was
We
a
had been
different one I
kneeling
was
on the
looking
bed in
for.
front of one another for about 2.5 minutes. I couldn't read Asuna's expression as she balled up her fists on her knees and looked down. I thought that I should probably be the one to take the first action in this situation, but not being able to predict the outcomes of any of my choices, I sat in petrified silence. I considered what would happen if I were to yell out, "Sorry!"
All right, here's
and
the
re-equip
writing.
minimal clothing at max speed before escaping out of the room. Would she say, "I guess it can't be helped, and forgive me when we meet again tomorrow"? There's no way she would. Remembering back to the distant past, I was only 14.
Oh yeah, he was only 14, so...
The winter of 8th grade. I
He was
don't
an
really
8th grader?
recall how I was at that
How does
time.
that work?
But I sacrificed all of the sexual energy that starts to awaken in all boys around that age in order to immerse myself into games.
So he wasn't
As a
even
result,
spending a bunch of
I had never
alone
been in a
time in his
situation where I
room
would be
with
alone
paper
with a girl in her
towels.
room. Obviously, I had also never been naked of a girl before. To tell the truth, I would have liked
remember
for
when I was that
Asuna, who I
age.
thought was probably a few years older than me, and thus had expertise in this area, to take the lead. However, it seemed that everyone in SAO, including her, viewed me as being older than I really was. Since I had never denied any of it, there's no way I could say to her in this situation, sorry, but I'm actually... I strengthened my resolve.
She's only a year
Even
older
if I
than you,
didn't have the
Kazuto,
knowledge
okay?
or experience, I had never loved or had felt such intense feelings for someone like I have for Asuna. Ever since SAO started, there were numerous times when I was in situations where I told myself, you can't run away from here, no matter what. I had to muster up greater willpower than that as I had extended my right hand and moved my body forward. My fingertips softly touched the gentle curve that was Asuna's shoulder.
I'm sure all you men
Her
and
body
lesbians
quivered
can
sharply.
understand the
I
first
slowly
time you
traced
ever
the path
touched a
from the
woman
line
and
of her
how it
collarbone
felt.
to the nape of
Right?
her neck.
I'm gonna need this to
Asuna
be
let
18
out a
plus,
soft moan as
age
her eyes
restricted.
closed. The blood rushed
I'll
to
wait
her
for
cheeks
YouTube to
and
do
her
it for me,
eyebrows
okay?
furrowed. For some time I watched Asuna's responses in secret delight as I touched her all over the place. Slightly excited by her fresh reactions, I went a bit overboard as I kept my fingertip at a point where I was just barely touching her, and continued to slowly glide smoothly across her skin.
Yeah,
I pulled
he's
down her arms,
excited
which were
for
firmly
sure.
hiding both
Alright,
breasts,
obviously a virgin,
circling
but
around her stomach and
technically
reverse
still a
direction
virgin
of her
after
arms
this, because
again.
it's in the game, it's not in real life.
Every time my finger moved,
I wonder if
Asuna's
they've done
body
this in
would
real life
shake
by
and a
now.
soft moan would leak out. After caressing her entire body, I put my right hand's finger under her small chin and lifted her head up. With my left index finger, I diligently traced her wet, shining, cherry-colored lips. No, not just your finger. As softly blushing Asuna opened her eyes slightly and looked at me pleadingly. Kiss me. I silently moved my face closer. Asuna's lips parted slightly as if they could not wait any longer, but instead of fastening my lips together, I
Okay,
softly
yeah, they're
poked her lower
both
lip with the tip of
virgins.
my
I
tongue.
know. Probably.
As if seeking me out, Asuna stuck out her tongue, but I restrained myself and moved to avoid her before softly touching her with the tip of my tongue. Oh. Asuna let out an irritated
He's
sound
making
of
these
both
sounds. You see, I
anticipation
couldn't
and
have read
relief
this.
as
No,
abruptly plunged my
I
tongue into her
couldn't.
mouth. I violently swished my tongue around. The tactile senses in SAO are just like the sense of taste, pre-programmed and activated in accordance to the situation. When you consider this, then the only conclusion that one can draw is that the feeling of a deep kiss must have been programmed in. Well, it's not like I've ever really experienced that in real life, but an indescribably bewitching feeling assaulted my nerves.
I don't understand
my
that.
tongue
I don't.
entwined Asuna's and I forcefully sucked
Yes,
them
I've
as
kissed
I
a girl.
felt
Get
all the
over it.
strength go
Anyway.
out of her body. Her eyes were
That's the only
moist
thing I'll
and dim,
admit
and
to.
she
The
was
rest is
breathing
up to
erratically as I took
speculation.
my tongue out of her mouth and then proceeded to look down her neck, behind her ear, and the hollow of her collarbone.
Okay, so he
Eventually reached the
knows
soft valleys that were the top of
something.
her
You know,
breast,
he knows what he's
which had been
doing.
hidden up until now.
I guess.
Her whole body leapt and twitched. Her arms gripped tighter together and she shook her head from side to side. Asuna, move your arms. But, I want to see your breasts, Asuna. I caught her wrists, which were crossed together, and pulled them apart as I slowly licked and sucked
Oh my
way towards
God.
the peak of the white breast that was gradually being revealed. No. Asuna's arms were finally at her sides as her twin peaks were revealed to my eyes. The swells, which were usually hidden by the loose-fitting knight's clothing and breastplate, were bigger than I had imagined. Full and protruding sharply forward.
Is he gonna give us an
At their
actual
tips were a pair of
size?
nipples, which were
I'm
difficult to
curious.
distinguish from the surrounding area.
Boobpedia is a
Standing
website. Just
pertinently in
saying.
a cone-shaped form. Regrettably, the entire room was currently bathed in the blue glow of the moonlight, and... Asuna, turn on the light.
Maybe I should
What?
Google it real quick.
No, don't. Having accepted the rejection of my request, I sucked her left nipple into my mouth. Ignoring the shrill voice that Asuna let out at the sudden attack, I chewed
He's
on the hard
making
mouth
all
of my
the
lips as
sounds
my tongue
himself.
crawled down around the stiff tip.
You gotta get the voice actors to do it.
No. I firmly held Asuna's right hand that tried to push me away. As she cried out, while her body convulsed and moved my left hand to the other breast, I squeezed her peak between my fingers, then gently used the nail of my index finger to stimulate the tip of her nipple. Oh. As I tortured both breasts, Asuna's convulsions and sweet cries rose in intensity. Going a bit overboard, I bit down on the protruding object in my mouth and somewhat violently began to chew on
Yeah,
it.
that's right. Get in
While
there.
at the same time, the thumb and index finger of my left hand painfully twisted the other nipple. No way. Asuna's body suddenly stiffened. Her arms, which now encircled the back of my head, tightened their grip. No, I'm just with my breast. She was unable to speak after that. letting out a hoarse, high-pitched cry from the depths
No
of her
way.
throat. Asuna twitched and her body
That
jumped
has got to be a
once before
game
collapsing against
thing,
me.
okay?
She was still breathing heavily. Her body intermittently convulsed slightly.
It's just the game, okay? That's why it's happening that way.
Asuna, just now? No. It's so embarrassing. I never had anything like that happen until now.
I'm just gonna listen. It keeps
Until
like,
now?
flashing my glasses.
Asuna ducked her body and looked down in an embarrassed manner. It's nothing. Nothing at all. Tell me. I moved my left hand over to Asuna's left breast as she leaned against me and grasped her nipple before pulling on it.
Did she climax?
Stop. No more with the breasts. What do you mean until
Too
now?
much?
Asuna spoke haltingly in a crying voice that was once again mixed with sweet moans. About the epic code-off, after I learned about it. I did, a couple of times, alone. What did you do? While thinking about you, played with my breasts and down below. Talking about her own fantasy seemed to have increased Asuna's masochistic side. Her breathing was gradually becoming ragged as she clung
No!
down below, like around
Oh
here.
my
I
god.
gently moved a hand that had been abusing her breast downward. I stroked her tense stomach, then ever so slowly moved
So
in that
she'd been
direction.
fantasizing
I
about
went
him
over
a
the slight
lot.
swell of her abdomen, and when my fingertips
A
reached the
few
entrance of the
times,
two
yeah,
mouths,
right.
Asuna gasped as her body shook. No. I used the index finger and middle finger of my left hand to stimulate the area around her vagina. While taking care not to touch the center, I enjoyed the sensation
How does this
of
even
squeezing the
work?
two mounds together, then pulling them apart. Asuna knelt down, putting both of her arms around me and moaned while burying her face in my neck as my fingers moved about, causing her body to jump and twitch. There.
Well,
No. But that voice
Kayaba and his engineers did a great job. I'm speechless right now.
Thinking that I was teasing her too much, I gradually moved my middle finger towards the center. As Asuna let out a remarkably loud cry, my finger was
It's
enveloped
worse
in a
because
swelling
he's the one
sensation.
speaking,
That
not
place was
not
seemingly
them.
endless, so hot, moist.
I'm familiar
and
with their dub
indescribably
voices.
soft
I just
that
think it'd be funnier if that was the
involuntarily
case.
stirred it with 2 fingers. No. Asuna cried out, and her body started to shake and
Look,
jump.
I'm just
And partly
gonna
God
give
for
you
that,
all
I
a little hint.
needed the little knob that was peeking out from the top of the slit of my thumb while spreading it open with 2 fingers. It appeared that Asuna could no longer speak as she dug
Yeah,
her nails
y'all
into my
saw
back
that.
and arched her back as far as she could.
I'll give you my phone number later. Anyway.
No, I can't take it anymore.
Or you can
But in
text me at
another sense, I was also at my limit.
sharknight101
I
at
wanted to see every
gmail.com.
single part of Asuna so
Yeah,
badly that I pushed her
DM me
down
that
onto
way.
the bed and grabbed her legs, spreading them apart.
I'm kidding. Don't do that.
What? Asuna came out of a hazy state and bucked her body to escape as she realized that she was in an extremely embarrassing position. But there was no way that I was going to loosen my grip now. What? Kirito, don't look so closely. Asuna, I raised my head and looked steadily into Asuna's eyes. Should we turn on the light? No! Asuna forcefully rejected my
I can't
suggestion as
handle
she shook her
this.
crimson red face.
This is too
Giving up,
much.
I devoted myself to examining Asuna's hidden place. The soft and fluffy pubes were pure white and smooth without a single hair growing there. This was, to say, rather than a preference of the developers, a limitation of the system itself. Hair-type objects are of the extremely heavy category. As a result, aside from hair on the head and beards, there were absolutely no hair everywhere on the bodies of the SAO players.
Even the hairiest
Between
people
the
I
two
can
smooth
see.
mounds was a single slit, and further into that were light-colored.
Well,
folds.
what do y'all
From time to
prefer,
time,
hairy
a
or
thin fluid dropped
hairless?
out and flowed towards Asuna's
I could care
anus
less.
before turning
Anyway.
into beads of light and disappearing. Whether it was an embarrassment or loss of strength, Asuna had stopped struggling, so I took my hand off her right foot and slowly spread the slit open. Asuna's eyes turned vacant as she moaned softly. Inside the slit, compared to the information that I had received from the net in the real world, was an unusually simple design, with what I thought was peach-colored membrane spreading smoothly on the inside and bottom. The vaginal opening, which tirelessly produced clear fluid, was
This is in
quietly
such
throbbing,
excruciating
and in the upper part,
detail.
with the slit close together, a little protrusion peeked its head out. Within SAO, the male players must have at least once or twice racked their brains in wondering what that part of the female players looked like. But I was experiencing a certain
Probably.
kind of emotion, having just discovered the answer to this question. Of course, in my lower half, there was also a certain thing, which having
Yeah, that
crossed
I
its
didn't need
limits
to know.
was seeking release. But this was the first time since I had entered SAO that it had become like this. There is a somewhat interesting.
Oh, he
story
hasn't
behind all of
actually-
this.
I
apologize
just
for
realized this is
digressing,
all
but
this is
when
all
SAO was
this.
under development,
Nothing
the Argus
else.
company had an internal closed alpha test phase, during which time they reasoned that since players would have no use for their genitals, it would not be necessary to objectify it. However, in reality, they found that most of the male testers would experience a certain amount of severe anxiety. Even so, while there was no problem when playing for several hours, when they conducted consecutive tests over a 48-hour period, they found that most of the male testers who attended this trial period were unable to stand not having their genitals and gave up. So it's from the better
He's
taste
trying not
phase
to
that the
laugh.
genital parts were implemented out of a sense of
Oh my
necessity.
god.
It
Is
seems
someone
that
in
this was
there with
also part
him?
of the reason why SAO players were not allowed to change their characters'
Yeah, there's
genders.
someone in the background. He's trying not to giggle.
However, even if you have had your genital parts, the question that I had prior to the official start of the game, meaning before the incident, was whether or not there would be anxiety over the lack of proper function.
Should I do it?
myself had agonized
Should I do it?
repeatedly on multiple
I'm kidding.
occasions
I'm
over
not
the
doing it.
inability
I'm
to
not
release my
doing
pent-up
it.
energy. But now I saw that if
Oh
the
my
ethics
god.
over whatever was disabled, then functionality, probably even ejaculation, was possible. While feeling
Possibly,
like I had
right?
missed out on a lot by not knowing all of this until now. At this point, though, I face a new question.
We're a little over halfway
Having the
there.
ethics code release function basically meant that online virtual sex had been planned with
Ethics
the release of
code?
the game.
What's that about?
SAO had many underage players such as myself, so no matter how I thought about it, this function was sure to cause a lot of social outcry. While teasing Asuna's cute
I'm
skin
pretty
with
sure
my
you guys,
I
you
raised
know,
my head
getting
and
your
posed that very
brains
question to her.
microwaved is a little worse than this.
What? Though she had spaced out looking at her silky eyes, and her answer was punctuated
Let's keep
by her
reading
heavy
it.
breathing, Asuna's serious disposition kicked in as she answered me. Ha! That's... They plan to use SAO's system in order to provide a personal sex service. We're probably linked with that function.
Is this why
I
Kayaba
see.
made the
In
game?
other words, it's probably one of those delicate arrangements.
Dude,
Well,
you
enough
were
of the
you were
chit-chat.
rich and
I used my
powerful.
left
I'm
hand to
pretty
open
sure you
Asuna
could,
up as wide as possible.
at the very least, you know, pay
She
for
wasn't
it, if you know what I
immobilized
mean.
anymore, but Asuna let out a sweet cry with both her legs spread wide in the air. I brought my face close and gently pushed my tongue toward the little hole.
Where
in the
is
center. Asuna shook her head from side to side as she cried out. I softly stimulated the entrance to that hole with my tongue as I pushed my finger in and out. No, not that. Every time Asuna convulsed, a large amount of fluid would make a sticky sound on my tongue as it leaked
How
out
did
of
they
her vagina.
program this?
Having pushed my tongue into her hole and enjoyed the feeling of her constricting around me, I
What
pushed
day was
myself
this
over
again? I
Asuna.
forget.
I was already swollen to my limit and felt like I would end up coming if I continued to explore Asuna's body anymore. While playing softly with her purred nipple, I covered Asuna's lips with my own and softly whispered, Asuna, can I? Asuna nodded vigorously as she let out a hot breath. Yes, make me fall with your thing, Kirito. Feeling slightly dizzy at the thought of having that straight-laced invincible warrior tell me that with such a tearful face, I pressed myself against Asuna's moistness. My penis caught on the entrance of her
I'm just
vagina
gonna stick
as
to
I
this
moved it up
version.
and down. Asuna firmed grippily my shoulders with her arms as she squeezed her eyes closed and furrowed her eyebrows.
I need to go back to reading
Even in
fan
the pale
fiction.
blue darkness of
I used
the
to
room,
read these
could
all the
see that her
time.
whole body
Then
was
I discovered
flushed and
podcasts.
beads of sweat shined everywhere. When I placed my hands at Asuna's sides, her hips moved slightly forward. I felt a slight resistance, but with a popping sensation.
If you subscribe to me because of my military videos, you're probably wondering what the fuck am I doing?
Asuna let out a scream as she arched her
I'm
body to
sorry,
its limit.
okay?
At the same time, my breath caught and I felt a numbness spreading from my penis to the rest of my body. Having pushed my entire length into Asuna, I let my desires take over as I continued to penetrate her bit by bit.
He's
Asuna
Asian,
continued to
right?
scream as she
You know the
continued to
stereotype
vigorously
for
shake
that
her
one?
head while her body shook.
Nah, it's
Although
probably
I
not
really
true.
wondered if
Nah,
it hurt,
nah.
I was no longer able to stop my hips from moving as my penis continued to plunge into Asuna's deepest parts with a wet
And
slapping
she's
moan.
Asian. Does that mean how tall is she? I don't
Eventually,
know.
my
It's
penis
usually
was
more
all the way
about
to the
height
root of
than
Asuna's
race.
vagina. Well, she was the woman whom I knew the best and loved the most.
You know, I
The
met a
crazy
girl who's
thought
like
that I was deep
5'3",
inside
and well,
Minecraft
she
so
was.
idle at this
I'm
moment
not
was
gonna get
spinning
into
around
that.
my mind, making me go crazy. I somehow managed to calm my breathing as I put my mouth close to Asuna's ear and said, "It's all inside. Does it hurt?" No, so hot. I'm going
Does-
to melt.
Does she have a
Asuna
barrier, if you know what I
answered me in a
mean?
thin, high voice as she shook her head. Kirito, so much of you inside me.
Is this even what it looks like? Remember, like they figure out
also
what your
felt like
body
melting
looks like
from
by
the
like
incredible heat that I
touching
was
your body in
experiencing.
certain ways.
My
They
penis,
sure
which was
I
tightly
can
gripped by
shape
Asuna, was
you.
continuously sending heat waves up
But
my
dude,
back
you're-
that exploded
you're out of
into
the game
fireworks in
now.
my head.
Go look and find out what it actually looks like.
I was aware of Asuna's moans becoming higher and higher as I immobilized, struggling against the sensations that threatened to
So this is
overwhelm
why
me.
Rika
As
asked
if
you
in
guys
anticipation, her slit
you
also
how far you
continued to
went.
tightly massage me with its convulsions.
You know, Rika, Lisbeth.
No way, I'm again.
Again?
Asuna's voice
Oh my
sounded as
God,
if she was
no!
becoming delirious from the heat,
No!
changing into a meltingly sweet sound, and no,
Ah.
again. I'm coming. She
Okay,
breathed
yeah,
back
that's
with a
exactly what
jerk and,
she's. Oh my
screaming
God,
loudly, Asuna climaxed for
no!
the second time. At the same time, my penis was squeezed with incredible pressure, and to horror, I felt a raging sense boiling up inside me.
I'm wearing this hat so you guys can't see my eyes. They're just like, I'm rolling my eyes every time I
hadn't even reciprocated once. I was somehow able to quell the urge. Panting heavily, I embraced Asuna's body, which was limp from orgasm. I knew I didn't have much time left, so I violently pulled all the way back to the opening of her vagina before pushing in all the way in one thrust.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Flew about.
Good job.
Asuna's eyes flew open as she let out a shriek. No! If you do that, I'm going to go crazy! I was once again forced to stop while deep inside of Asuna, the hot, soft sensation surrounding me.
What is with fan pictures? They always have to do this. They always have to have this in this certain way.
Stay like this, I would eventually end up coming.
It's like both at the same time, multiple times in a row.
Lifting up a drowsy look,
I just revealed a lot about myself then.
Eventually, the two of us switched positions, with me on my back and Asuna in a mounted position on top of me. As soon as
let's just get. Let me just make one thing clear: that certain website PH is nothing compared to reading.
No, this is embarrassing.
Or in this case, listening.
What? Okay. Asuna blushed shyly as she nodded and began to gently rock her body. I'm sorry that... Leon, feeling good, Kirito? You can come too. A sticky sound was coming from the slit that was
okay, it's like 2
minutes.
minutes.
Asuna's movements were minimal, but the powerfully numbing feeling was spreading through my body again. Right when I thought, at this rate, I'm going to come right away. Her voice was once again mixed in with the sound of arousal. Asuna bit down on the fingers of her right hand as she moved her hips up and down. Why am I...
Oh my god, someone get this woman some help, please! This poor young woman, come on!
Also flew about, turning into light before disappearing. I'm sorry.
She's like 17 here, right?
I'm coming.
Well, I guess Chef from South Park would say it's okay.
She violently convulsed 2-3 times. Her breasts, which were sticking out in front of her, danced in time with those emotions. I was in no position to pause and admire the sight of Asuna with her eyes scrunched closed and her teeth gritted together, looking incredibly cute, yet horribly lewd all at the same time. As Asuna's vagina gripped my penis tightly, I was once again assaulted with the powerful urge.
Yeah, that's how you know it's for real.
I wouldn't be able to resist.
Because a lot of women will fake it. But if it gets
tighter,
tighter, then you... I'm not going to talk about that, no! No, as if Food Wars wasn't bad enough.
Being suddenly assaulted right after coming, all Asuna could do was frantically river about. I took a hand which was extended toward me and licked our fingers together. Every time I stirred up Asuna's insides, our overflowing juices would fly about as the place of our joining melted in endless heat.
Okay, I can't do this with my left hand, but my right hand,
breasts also sent large amounts of sweat flying about. Asuna was letting out deliriously sweet moans of a completely melted look on her face. I'm coming. Yes, let it out, Kirito. Let it out.
Oh my god, no, stop.
Up sensations that had stretched to the limits. Asuna, I could feel my hot sperm gushing deep into Asuna as she trembled to get another climax. 2 years worth of semen made a glopping noise that it
2 years?
Every time my penis twitched, fire.
I thought you said you just played video games back home. So you were watching that one website?
After receiving all that I had to give her, Asuna's strength gave out.
Why am I even censoring myself? This is gonna get flagged either way.
I gently embraced Asuna while she continued to gasp and convulse as if she was being stimulated by the fluids inside her body as my consciousness dimmed.
Okay. I missed that last part. Let's read it. Let's see. I could feel my hot substance falling deep into Asuna as she trembled in yet another climax. 2 years worth of substance made a glopping noise as it floated. I should have read it. I really should have and just censored myself for everything. Yeah. The glopping noise endlessly in Asuna. Every time my thingy twitched, fireworks would go off in my head. Oh yeah, that's a good feeling. I'm not gonna talk about that. I did that a little too well, didn't I? Again, if you're here from my military videos, I thank you for watching this. Hopefully you're an anime fan or a Sword Art Online fan. But yeah, if you ever fall under my command, I'm a sergeant. You're probably gonna lose all respect for me after this. After receiving all that I had to give her, Asuna's strength gave out as she fell on top of me. I gently embraced Asuna while she continued to gasp and convulse as if she was being stimulated by the substance inside her body as my consciousness dimmed. And so he fell asleep. To be continued. All right, let's read some of these comments. Okay. I guess it's the guy who posted it. Now that this is done and over with, did you know that the two obscure Russian monarchists have creation? No. Who knew that reading canon SAO erotica can lead into learning such interesting trip? I don't care. Let's go to the YouTube comments. So again, this is on my personal account. You can read Sword Art Online, chapter 16.5, in a dramatic reading solo. Right here from Chewdar. That's CHEWDAR. Please, please subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe to him right here. I doubt he's looking to be monetized, but it's not subscribing. I'll try that again later. All right. Be sure to give him a like and watch his content, because I do not want to steal this from him. There was like no other way to do this, so sorry, man. I didn't want to steal from you, but judging from the fact you have 26 subscribers and I'm guessing your channel doesn't really post much. Yeah, you got a lot of videos actually. Oh, so this is what you look like. Yeah, dude. Sorry. You haven't made a video in 7 months. It doesn't seem like you're serious. I'm sorry for stealing your content, but I appreciate you. It's good. I'm gonna make sure I watch this over and over again, quote unquote, to help give you some views and watch time.
Turn.
But let's read some of the comments. I can tell from the first 2 seconds it's gonna be good. This is from ManX. 10 out of 10 voice acting from Kai Milk. Chief of 2010. I'm in the military and I'm standing post right now, and I was bored and wondering if something like this existed on YouTube. And well, here we are. This is funny as fuck. I'm in the military too, bro. Or at least I was. What? Let me catch you on post reading this. You probably shouldn't reveal that to our enemies, but this happens. It says, stay alive. I will. There we go. That one kid says Asuna's voice is perfect. Owen has fun. One can tell the whole time that you're trying not to laugh. Zenny says, I'll never see them the same again. Sina Echo says, nice, dude. CIA says, I'm getting my friend the FBI. Oh, yeah, sure. You're going to bring the feds into this one? And it's like, but you have more power, though. Only overseas do they have more power. What about the sky? Yeah, that's true. No name. The YouTube algorithm experience. Okay, this got 10,000 views. It didn't get that many comments. School Guitar 428 says, yes, officer, this one right here. Miles Stressman says, bro, and then laughing. Tyron Ford says, WTF. Kato says, please God forgive, or please God, please forgive for sins. Hashtag, yeah. And Shrek says, praise with you in italics. And Moonlight says, how did I get here? School Guitar, what the fuck? I'm sure there's more readings of this somewhere. Oh, God. I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to need a minute to collect my thoughts and give you all my, my thoughts and reaction. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I was hoping for. It's a 20-minute video, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Not so bad. Again, please watch the actual content. Read it for yourself. Hell, make a reaction video on it. I should make a video on how to make reaction videos. It's a good idea. But yeah, I guess, Sword Art Online, being trapped in the game had a lot of negatives, but hey, at least you can come out of this and technically still be a virgin. You can have your own harem in this game, and, you'll feel all the pleasure and everything, and 0 STDs. And all that. I'm not encouraging anyone to do this in the metaverse. I am pretty sure there was a woman in the metaverse who got assaulted. If the real version of this ever came out, yeah, this would be a major issue. I don't know how to... There's so much wrong with this. I can't really talk about it. I guess what I can really say is these two got it on. These two had a lovely time. Wonderful. And... if it was me in there with Asuna, well, how would I put it? I'd be doing this for about 20 minutes. Because when you do this for 20 minutes, going for 30 seconds to 3 minutes doesn't seem so bad. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm not going to actually give you guys the amount of time. It may be more than you think. I got to remember my mom actually watches this shit. And so does my sister and a couple of my cousins and nephews. There are a few of my frequent viewers, and they're gonna be very disappointed in me if they see this. I'm gonna make sure I tell my younger nephews that are underage not to read this, or not to view this. If they do, that's on them. But I at least have to give them I at least have to tell them not to. You know, their parents are gonna get mad at me. What can I say though? It's just shocking that this actually happened, and this is canon. It's like let's play the clip. Okay, so this is the dub version. I did watch this. Okay, so he just asked her right there, like, "Can I spend the night with you?" And she's like, "Oh, sure, I guess." But this caught me off guard. You all saw my reaction to this. It really caught me off guard. I had no idea this would happen. I gotta make some cuts to this to make sure I don't get copyrighted. And maybe the music should be off. Okay, I'm just gonna show it this time. You know, this is already, like, bad enough as it is.
Don't look. Not yet anyway.
Nah, I'm not kidding. I'm gonna not show it.
What are you waiting for? Get undressed.
So she set him up for it, and she completely misunderstood.
No, wait, I didn't. I mean, I just. All I wanted was to spend the night with you tonight, and not the other thing.
Oh, it's still funny. It's still funny. I can't imagine how stupid she felt after that.
You dummy!
But then here's where it gets weird, okay? So you can see right here that she wakes up in bed, obviously naked, and he's dressed. So you see this right here. I guess you can't see the mouse moving. They just get up out of nowhere. Let's skip a little.
Back?
Yeah, the sappy love or whatever.
We could get a house together.
And then...
And then what?
Then we get married.
Yeah, so... you...
Okay.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I tried my best to circumvent copyrights, you know. Couldn't really find this on YouTube in that time period, but... How do I put it? Now that we know they actually... let's be real, they had sex, okay? Now that we know they actually had sex in there, it makes a lot more sense that he asked her to marry him. I mean... From Extra Edition, it sounds like Asuna wasn't sure if he had feelings for her. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, I watched this a couple of times. I actually rewatched the whole season, which is stupid because I should have been watching season 2. I don't know why. I'm really into this anime. You figure if I'm really into it, I'd have finished season 2 by now, but I can't even get the first episode edited. That's the reason it hasn't been posted yet. Like, I've edited, like, 3-4 separate times in every little, like, well, 4 separate times from scratch, and then, like, a dozen times each trying to circumvent copyright. There's no way to get it to work. I checked on other reactors, and sure enough, it's like, it's really difficult to get past copyright. You can see that, I guess he just felt, okay, I have had this great feeling with you for the first time. I've been in love with you for so long. And so he's like, let's get married. Now, to us, it seems a little shocking because this is episode 10. But for them, it's been 2 years. And they've, like, ran into each other. And from what Asuna explained, it's kind of like, she said she, like, the first time she really had any feelings for him was, like, after the little incident with Griselda. Which is, again, my mom's name. They had the little incident together, and after that, she started looking forward to seeing him over and over, and then she brought him back to her place, and she's already in love with him at that point. It gets a little complicated, but I'm judging, from what I'm seeing here, I don't think he ever actually had feelings for her until probably this moment. Probably this moment.
I was so scared.
All right, so I think right here in this scene,
I didn't know what I'd do.
Asuna's basically already revealed she's in love with him.
You're the one who jumped in first, remember?
I'm taking a leave of absence from.
She's like, I'm teaming up with you, remember? And yeah, she did invite him to be in the guild. Or not in the guild, in the party. I think right here was when she really realized how much she loves him. And he's thinking back, oh, after all this, I've fallen for her. And the first time we met, first time we worked together, and it's all led to this. But you can see right here, look, look.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking the wrong scene. All right, so you see right there, he's like, okay, yeah, we'll team up together. And I think he's really just realized his feelings for her. But he's trying to play it off like it's not there. All right, so let's play out a little bit. October 22nd, 2024. So right here, she asked him the important question.
I hope you don't mind my asking.
Yeah, why do you avoid guilds and people? Well,
I mean, it's not because you're a beta tester or because you have unique skills, is it?
no, here he goes on and explains it. We already know all that. You're trying to see my reaction to this episode. See, he's still not really over over Sachi. I don't know if those two ever had feelings for one another. It seemed like it.
Hadn't hidden.
So this is the moment where I think he really realized it, but was still really hesitant. All right. And this is when I was like, yeah, these two are going to end up together, but I didn't think they'd actually do it. Ugh.
I can't die because I have to protect you.
It's like, oh, she's going to kiss him? No. Right there, he hesitates. He could have pulled her in for a kiss or something right there, but he hesitates, okay? So, if you ask me, this whole 16.5 thing happened because he'd already hesitated for so long. He'd been putting it off, and he's just like, I can't do this. I can't trust anybody. I can't do anything. And it's not really until this happens that he really moves on from losing that guild, moves on from losing Sachi. And he just kind of like welcomes Asuna into his heart. Now, of course, that helps in this moment. Just before he faces death. Hold up. Just before death, what's the last thing he sees? Asuna. And suddenly gets the will to fight again. This is the first time he beats he circumvents the game's rules. But it's all like, oh, so you're afraid of death. And it's like, yeah, I just can't die yet. It's like, yeah, he can't because Asuna's there. He needs her back. Now, obviously here, Asuna was stalking him. She found him. And right here, he protects her. Gets his arm cut off. I was freaking out. I'm like, what happens if your arm gets cut off? I mean, is there no way for it to heal? Sure enough, there is. Yeah, murder, whatever. You just murdered other people.
I'm sorry.
Now, this I never understood. She's blaming herself here.
Oh, my fault.
What's up with that?
I'm sorry. But I should stay away from you.
Now, I didn't see this part coming, but I'm like, oh, come on. It's not your fault. What's up with
For
that?
your sake.
What are you talking about? And he just gets her out of nowhere. Right there. He lets it all out. He'd been holding back for so long, and she just kind of goes along with it. And he's like, Asuna, my heart belongs to you, or my life belongs to you, that kind of thing. And she's like, okay, yeah, I feel the same way. And so, yeah, that's when he asked her to go back to her. But I think that the whole asking her to marry him thing makes a lot more sense when you combine all these little things. He'd been holding back his feelings for her for so long. It was after he nearly died beating Gleam Eyes that he said, oh shit, Asuna has all these strong feelings for me. And he thinks of her and is like, oh shit, I do have strong feelings for her. And then you kind of go along with that, and you know, he's asked about why he avoids guilds, and she says, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna be here to protect you, you're gonna protect me. and it's clear they're both in love with one another, but he's hesitating, and then it leads to, well, this happening, and then it leads to 16.5 happening, which 16.5 is hilarious. I'm gonna have to read that again on my own personal time just so I can get a full context of it. I don't know, let me know what y'all think about their relationship and how it works. Again, keep in mind, this is a couple of years. It's not 10 episodes like it is for us, 10 weeks or 10 days or whatever, or even just 4 hours of content. Yeah, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe with your notification bell, and just put ha-has in the comment section. Just keep laughing, and oh god, I'm gonna have to read this one day, aren't I? Read it out loud. No, I don't think I ever will. If I do, it's gonna be heavily censored just for humor. All right, like instead of saying sperm, I'm gonna say substance. And instead of saying breasts or boobs, I'm gonna say hooters and knockers. just because I can. This is why I didn't read it. Oh well. Again, so subscribe to that guy Chewdar or whatever. Stay tuned, everybody. And happy SAO day, I guess.